All right, so moving into Geometry Unit 10, we're going to be talking today about polygons. Specifically, we're going to spend some time on quadrilaterals. But before we do that, we do need to talk about prefixes and word meanings. And so I have the Across Disciplines magnet here because we are going to be moving into what you would normally have in your reading language arts class, where you're talking about prefixes and word meanings, but I think it's important to start there to get an idea of what some of these words actually mean. And so we have polygon, and so polygon is defined by our textbook as a closed figure made of line segments. And so a couple of important things here is that it needs to be closed and it is made of line segments. And so what we know about line segments is we know that line segments have to be straight and my figure has to be closed. And so here I have a line segment, and yeah, it doesn't really make a polygon because it's line segments plural, so I need more than one. And so let's go ahead and add another line segment. So I've added a line segment and I don't have a polygon because it's not closed. So I cannot make a polygon out of one line segment. I cannot make a polygon out of two line segments. Let's see if I can do it out of three. And so, yep, sure enough, I'm able to make a polygon out of three line segments. But does it have to be three? Let's see. Can I add another line segment? Still don't have one, but let me go ahead and see. Yep, there's a polygon. Can I add another line segment? Sure I can. And, well, it's not exactly closed, but there we go, right? So what I know is it doesn't have to be a certain number of line segments. It just has to be three or more. So it's made up of three or more line segments. Three or more. And it does have to be closed. And because it's line segments, I can't have something that looks like that. That's not a polygon because it's not line segments, it's not straight. I could also not have one that looks like that, right? Because that's not a polygon because it's not made totally of straight lines. All right, so now that we've talked about that, let's talk about some prefixes. And so the prefix tri, we know that that means three, and we have some examples here to triple. If I were to triple the amount of money that I have, that means I'm multiplying it times three, right? Or if somebody is pregnant with triplets, well, then that's three babies. Or a tricycle has three wheels. And so tri means three. And the polygon that I have here is a triangle. And triangle literally means three angles. It's a shape made up of three angles. And we can go ahead and draw what that looks like here. And so I have one angle, two angles, and three angles. So triangle means three angles. All right. The next one, where we'll spend most of our time today, we'll circle back to it, is our quadrilaterals. And so a quadrilateral made up of the word quad, which means four. So if I were to quadruple my money, I'm going to multiply it by four. Somebody is pregnant with quadruplets, then they have four babies. Or a quad ATV has four wheels. A quad all-terrain vehicle has four wheels. So I know quad means four, lateral. I know that latitude on a globe, those are the lines that go side to side. Right, so I have longitude, that's up and down, latitude is side to side, and then those that watch football understand a lateral pass. Now, a lateral pass could either be parallel to the line of scrimmage, or it could be just away from the goal. But if we're talking about a lateral pass being parallel to the line of scrimmage, that's a pass to the side. So the quarterback's not throwing forward, he's throwing to the side. And so what we have is lateral simply means side. If I were to take a lateral view of something in science, I'm looking at the side. It's a side view of that specimen. And so quadrilateral literally means four sides. So it's a figure with four sides. And so an example of a quadrilateral might look like this, right? And so it's a figure with four sides, or a polygon with four sides. Penta means five. And we have the government building, the Pentagon. And of course, it's shaped like a pentagon, polygon pentagon. And for those that are religious or study religion, the Bible, the first 5 books of the Bible is known as the Pentateuch. And so that's, again, referring to the number 5. And so a pentagon, I'm not really great at pentagons, but I'm going to do my best. So there is a pentagon. All right, a hexagon has 6 sides. Also, some of you guys that are into coding and programming might be familiar with hexadecimal, where it's a 6-character code for colors. So hex means 6, or hexagon has 6 sides. All right, there we go. So there is a hexagon. Heptagon, or sometimes you'll see that as a septagon, but a heptagon is a 7-sided figure. All right, octa. So octagon is an 8-sided figure. We know an octopus has 8 legs, so octa means 8. And we've all seen what an octagon looks like every time that we see a stop sign. And so I'm going to attempt to draw. Yeah, that turned out all right. So there is my octagon. Nonagon is not very common, but a nonagon is a 9-sided figure, and I'm not going to draw that one either. And a decagon. Deca is a 10-sided figure, a decagon. And so we have a decade, which is 10 years, a decathlon, sporting event that takes place with 10 different events, or a decameter being 10 meters. A 10-sided figure is a decagon. So to review the ones that we've talked about so far, so we had a triangle, a quadrilateral, a pentagon, a hexagon, so pentagon being 5, hexagon being 6, heptagon. Sometimes you'll see it as septagon, but heptagon is a 7-sided figure. Octagon is an 8-sided figure. Nonagon, not very common. I doubt you'll run into those too often, but that's a 9-sided figure. And a decagon for a 10-sided figure. Now there are others. A dodecagon, for example, would be a 12-sided figure. But if we start getting into higher numbers, if I had, say, a 75-sided figure, that's simply called a 75gon, or a 125-sided figure would be a 125gon, and so on. So there are other ones. You don't need to know that. That's just kind of a side fun fact.